The Bah Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.
The weird circle. In this cave by the restless sea, we are met to call from out of the past stories, strange and weird. Bellkeeper, toll the bell, so that all may know we are gathered again in the weird circle.
Phantoms of a world gone by speak again the immortal tale. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Every man is truly two beings, cursed with the struggle of good and evil within him. What would this duality be like, separated? Each part living alone, the good companion, and then the pure and ugly evil of a man. That you, Poole?
Yes, Dr. Jekyll.
Come in. Did you get the salt?
Yes, sir. Finally, sir. But only 3 pounds of it. That was all the chemist had.
Good. It will suffice. Thank you, Poole.
Anything else, sir?
Oh, no, Poole. Good night.
I beg pardon, sir, if I may ask, is the experiment nearly done?
I think so, Poole. This time, I think it's really nearly done.
Ah, splendid, sir. Cook would be glad to hear it, too.
Yes,
good night,
yes,
sir.
Good night. Yes, and a gram of the salt. Now. Where's your courage, Jekyll? Drink it. Here, in the mirror. Look. Your face. The essence of evil within you, growing before your eyes. There's breath in your other half, Jekyll. You've given him the miracle of life. The essence of the hidden evil in a man, Dr. Jekyll. The miracle of consummate evil come to life. The hidden soul of Jekyll. I am Mr. Hyde.
That night, like a shadow from an evil place, a stooped figure walked alone in the London streets. About him was a feeling of deformity and decay. He had come from the by-street door of Dr. Henry Jekyll's house, from his laboratory. And it was this same door he entered again when the first light of dawn dispelled the night. But during the day, the house and the laboratory were quiet, while the master slept. That evening, Mr. Utterson, the lawyer, stood before the bright fire in the library. Dr. Jekyll had sent for him.
This will is preposterous, Jekyll. I'm your lawyer, yes,
There's
but...
nothing to be so concerned about, Utterson. Edward Hyde is a new friend of mine. I want to be sure he's provided for in case something happens to me, that's all.
But nothing's going to happen to you. How could you just disappear, as you've stated in this testament?
Oh, now, how could I know that, Utterson?
Well, it's strange, Jekyll, but if this is the way you want it...
Hyde has captured my interest, Utterson. His well-being is the one thing uppermost in my mind. I want to be certain, in case something does happen to me, that Hyde will be financially secure to carry on.
I see. Well, all right, Jekyll, as you wish. The will be ready for your signature in a few days. I'll bring it around myself.
Splendid, Utterson. Now, what about that spot of wine?
Thanks, no. Dr. Lanyon's expecting me.
Lanyon, huh?
He was only asking about you the other evening, Jekyll. We see you so seldom these days.
Well, I've been rather hard at it in the laboratory. Sure you can't stay.
Another time. Good night, Jekyll.
Good night.
Wonder who the devil this Edward Hyde is.
Mr. Utterson was the first of many Londoners who were to wonder about the hideous spectre-like Mr. Hyde, who were to fear the shadows of night because of him. One evening, nearly a week later...
Help me, sir! Help me!
Here, young fellow. What's the matter?
It's a monster, sir. He struck me with his cane. Help me, sir, please.
There. Nobody's going to hurt you. Now, where is this monster you speak of?
He was right behind me, sir, all the way from Clement Street. Look, there, under the corner light. You'll not let him come at me again, will you, sir? Will you?
No, my lad. No harm will come to you.
Oh, sir.
He's seen us now. Wait. By George, it is a monster.
Look, sir, he's making for that doorway. The small one in the shadow, just there.
So he is. Hey, here, fellow. Wait a minute there. Come along, my lad.
But, sir, don't let him.
It's all right now. Don't be afraid. You there. Did you strike this child?
If the ruffian molests me again, I'll strike him again.
What kind of a devil are you?
There's no gentleman that wishes to avoid a scene. It was an accident. Maybe this pound note will ease the boy's pain.
Oh, no.
Take it, lad.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wait a moment. And this door. Isn't this Jekyll's laboratory? You must be Mr. Hyde. I'm an old friend of the doctor's, Utterson of Gaunt Street. You must have heard of me. I was just on my way to see Jekyll.
How did you know I'm Mr. Hyde?
Oh, we have common friends.
Who are they?
Jekyll, for one. Come, let me see your face, Mr. Hyde. How else shall I know you when we meet again?
We shall not meet again, Mr. Utterson.
Well, so that is Hyde. Now, my lad, run along. I've got a call to make.
In this house, sir?
Yes, but at the front door. I want to see if Mr. Jekyll's in. Now, my lad, you run along home, and don't let me catch you out on the dark streets like this again.
Yes, sir, you won't, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Mr. Utterson.
Dr. Jekyll home, Paul?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Thought sure he'd be here at this late hour.
And most gently he is, sir.
I just saw that Hyde fellow go in by the laboratory door. Is that right, when Dr. Jekyll's away from home?
Quite right, Mr. Utterson. Mr. Hyde has a key.
Your master seems to put a great deal of trust in him.
Yes, sir, he does indeed. We all have orders to obey him, though we see him seldom. He mostly comes and goes by the street door, and at night, sir.
Well, tell Dr. Jekyll I'd like to see him as soon as possible, and give him these papers, will you, Poole?
Yes.
I was talking with him about them a few days ago.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Poole.
Good night, Mr. Utterson.
Now, the sword, Mr. Hyde. Hurry. Mix it well. Pour the powder in slowly. Now, drink it. Now. Look. strength of good, Mr. Hyde. The triumphant strength of good. What a face. The terror of your eyes unclouding. And straightening of your crooked, evil soul. The masking of an ugly idol in the glass. It's the last of you, Mr. Hyde. You'll never exist again.
What? Is that you, Dr. Jekyll?
Yes, Poole.
I'm so sorry, sir. I only just told Mr. Utterson that you were not at home.
I came in by the laboratory door, Poole.
But Mr. Hyde, sir...
Mr. Hyde is gone.
Oh, I see. Mr. Utterson left this paper envelope, sir. He asked also to see you as soon as possible.
Well, thank you, Poole. Put it there.
Shall I bring you some chocolate, sir?
No. No, I'll go to bed. I'm very tired, Poole. I've been alone too much lately. What do you say to my taking your advice and having that dinner party?
Oh, that would be like old times, sir.
We'll talk it over tomorrow.
Splendid, sir.
And, Poole, I don't think Mr. Hyde will be back again.
Good evening. Come right in, sir.
Dr. Lanyon and Miss Julie, come in.
Hello, Jekyll. Good to see you out of that shell after all these months. This isn't going to be one of those stuffy dinner parties, is it?
Pay no attention to him, Dr. Jekyll.
Your hat and coat, Dr. Lanyon.
Oh, yes, Poole. By the way, Jekyll.
Yes?
This is your walking stick, isn't it?
Why, so it is.
You went off with mine the last time you were over and left yours.
Did I? I am sorry. Look for Dr. Lanyon's cane, will you, Poole?
Yes, sir.
Of course, I'd rather have this one. I'm fond of canes and cherry. The little dog's head is nicely carved.
Well, perhaps we'll arrange a swap someday.
Well, Dr. Jekyll, good evening.
Good Sir Andrew. Hello there.
Where have you been hiding all these weeks?
Hiding? Oh, right here, Sir Andrew, right here.
Well, we've missed you. Mrs. Fielding's dinners aren't the same without Dr. Jekyll.
Well, thank
I
you,
must
sir.
say it's good to see you, Jekyll.
Utterson.
You're not evading me this time. Been trying to see you all week.
Why, something on your mind?
Not here, old fellow. Come along. We can steal out a few minutes before dinner.
Well, only a few. I've got a house full of guests, remember. Look, there's nobody here in the laboratory. Sit down. By the fire.
My word. It does look like you've been working.
Well, it takes a lot of equipment for chemical experiments. Now, what's up?
You should know without asking. That will, of course.
Oh, that.
I don't like it, Jekyll.
You never did.
And especially since I've met your Mr. Hyde. He's a frightful fellow, Jekyll. The other night...
Let's not talk about it, Utterson. It's not as you fancy. I can be rid of Hyde the moment I choose.
What's the matter?
Oh, I was just going to say, let's leave the will as it is. And will you promise me one thing?
What's that?
I still take a great interest in Hyde, and I only ask for justice, for you to help him if the time comes when I'm no longer here.
The whole thing's preposterous, but... it's a promise. I'll do my best. Well, look here, Jekyll. Are you ill?
No,
But your face, man. Your face.
Don't look at me, Utterson.
Jekyll, wait a minute.
He saw you, Mr. Hyde. My eyes. Oh, let me alone. Let me alone. You've got to die and stay dead forever. You're afraid, Mr. Hyde. Afraid of him. Can you kill the strongest force in the world? You've got to have the strength of Hyde to murder, the inordinate strength of Hyde. You can't kill me, Jekyll. The good in you can never kill. And I shall never die. Not as long as you can live.
Julie. Close the window, quick. What happened? That hideous creature we heard about, ma'am. That Mr. Hyde. I just saw him kill a man. Kill a man? Where? In the street, just outside. I screamed, and he looked up at me like a wild man he was. Oh, no, don't go out there, Miss Julie.
Anna, get yourself in hand.
Julie, what's going on here?
Something on the street, Father. You better go out and see what's happened.
Oh, the creature was about to come up to the balcony, Dr. Lanyon. It was stooped and hideous and...
Put her on the bed, Julie. I'll be right back.
I've just been sitting here peaceful like, watching the moonlight, ever since you and Dr. Lanyon came back from Dr. Jekyll's party. Then the white-haired gentleman came along, and this monster, oh, man.
It's all right, Anna.
And the white-haired gentleman just asked about the post, and this monster struck him with his cane, and then kicked him and kicked him. It was that Hyde monster, Miss Julie.
But where'd he go?
Well, when I screamed, some people came out from the houses, and he looked round like an animal and then ran away. Oh, he might come back, Miss Julia. Don't let him come back. Don't let him come back.
Here, get back there. What's happened?
The poor blighter, such an old man. He's been murdered, Dr. Lanyon.
Good Lord. It's Sir Andrew Carew.
Looks like he was on his way to the post and some madman attacked him.
Here, you. Call an officer.
Already been called. Look at this.
What is it?
A walking cane. What the murder was done with, most likely. It's broke plumb in two.
Here, let me see that.
Heavy sort of cane. Easy to do a murder with that.
How terrible. Some maniac's done this.
That Mr. Hyde we've heard so much about, and some folks have seen. That's who's done it.
Oh, it's Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde.
Cherry cane with a dog's head carved in the handle. Why, this is Dr. Jekyll's.
Clark, let me have a room. A room, quick.
Yes, sir, right away.
And I want a note delivered immediately.
Will you register, sir?
There's the time, I tell you. Give me a room and send me a messenger, quick.
But,
Now,
sir,
you fool! Do you want these fingers around your throat, or will you do as I say?
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. Sam, show this gentleman up to 210 and wait for a note he wants delivered. Oh, my word, fingers around my throat. And by golly, I really meant it.
I cannot impress upon you too strongly the importance of this note, Dr. Lanyon. You have been a dear friend, and now my life is in your hands. Go immediately to my house. Poole will admit you. From my laboratory cabinet, remove the fourth drawer from the top, with all its contents intact, and take it to your house, where a man will present himself in my name at exactly midnight tonight. You must not fail me. Henry Jekyll. What an extraordinary thing. Well, I've done as Jekyll said. Now we'll see. Oh, right on the dot. Who's there? Are you from Jekyll?
Yes, let me in. Lanyon, you got it.
I have, but look here.
No waste time. Let me have the drawer.
It's in my study, through that door there.
Where is it?
There, on the table.
We've got a graduated glass.
It's on the shelf beside you, but what are you going to do?
I am going to perform a miracle.
Now look here. Jekyll didn't say anything about... If this is some fiendish thing Jekyll's cooked up, I'll be no partner to it.
Crystals. Sword.
Who are you, anyway?
Look at it, Dr. Lanyon.
Man, answer me. Who are you?
You've already guessed that, haven't you? I am Mr. Hyde. Hyde! Is your curiosity great enough to watch me drink this potion?
What are you talking about? Get out of here, you devil!
If you watch me, a new knowledge will be open to you, Dr. Lanyon. And in this room, this instant, your sight will be blasted by a prodigy that would stagger the unbelief of Satan himself.
You're a madman. Get out of my house.
No, watch, Dr. Lanyon, watch.
Jekyll.
Jekyll.
In heaven's name.
It's you. The birth of a good man before your eyes. Now you see why I hid myself away all those weeks, Dr. Lanyon.
Jekyll. What are you saying?
At first, it took a strong draught of the formula to bring him to life. Weeks ago, that was. But now he's too strong. Now the Jekyll you see before you hasn't the power to keep him back. 2 hours from now, Dr. Lanyon, I'll be Mr. Hyde again. And no strength of my will can stop it.
Jekyll, you're mad. Leave me alone.
I've got to know more of the powder, Dr. Lanyon. In heaven's name, don't you see? I've got to find more of the powder. This was the last of it.
Jekyll, have mercy. Let an old man alone.
Together we can do it, Dr. Lanyon. Poole got the powder for me, but the shop where he got it has no more. It must have contained some impurity that did the trick. You've got to help me find out what that impurity was. Dr. Lanyon, you've got to help me murder this evil Hyde in my soul.
Jekyll.
Stop. What? Stop. Dr. Lanyon. Dr. Lanyon! No! His heart cannot stand the wonder of your miracle, Dr. Jekyll. You have killed him. The one man who could save your life is dead.
Oh, God bless you, Mr. Addison, for coming so quickly.
Oh, what on earth's happened, Poole?
I'm sorely afraid Dr. Jekyll's been murdered, sir.
What? Murdered?
Come with me, sir. Don't make a noise. We mustn't be heard.
But where are you taking me?
Here's a candle, sir, to Dr. Jekyll's laboratory. And if by any chance he asks you in, don't go, Mr. Addison. Don't go.
But how could Jekyll be dead?
Quiet, sir, I beg of you. You see, he's been in the laboratory all day, and he won't come out. And every time I knock, wait, and you shall see. Here's the door.
What is it?
Mr. Addison, sir, asking to see you.
Tell him I can't see anybody.
Yes, sir.
Poole, that isn't... Well, that doesn't sound like Jekyll to me.
No, sir, I'm glad to hear you say so, because Mr. Addison, whatever is in there, cries to heaven for help and wails and sobs.
What are you driving at, Poole?
Well, sir, it all began early this morning after they'd found Dr. Lanyon dead.
Yes, I saw him. Such terror in his face.
Well, sir, it was sometimes Dr. Jekyll's way to leave orders on a sheet of paper outside this door. And since early this morning, sir, we've had nothing else except notes at the closed door and food left outside to be smuggled in when nobody was looking. A dozen times, Mr. Addison, those notes were sent me flying all over London to wholesale chemists for a certain powder. But every time, soon after I brought it back, there'd be another paper telling me to return it because it wasn't right, sir. And this drug, sir, is wanted very badly.
Then maybe it is Jekyll, Poole. Maybe...
Oh, sir, do you think I wouldn't know my master after 20 years? That thing in there, Mr. Addison, had done away with Dr. Jekyll.
Then who do you think it is in there?
I give you my Bible word, Mr. Addison. It's that monster, Mr. Hyde.
That's what I thought. Come on, we've got to break in.
Yes, sir.
We need an axe, something to pry the door with.
Well, I have the tools here. I've also taken the liberty of sending a footman with the boy around by the by-street entrance, just in case. And I have a gun here, sir.
Good. But can they catch him if he tries to escape?
They can, sir. Here's the axe.
Here, hold the candle.
Right.
I'm going to knock first.
Right.
Mr. Hyde, will you let me in?
I can't see anybody. Go away.
If you don't open the door, I'm going to break it down.
Watterson, in heaven's name, have mercy. Leave me alone.
Oh, stand back.
If you value your life, stay away.
We're coming in there, Mr. Hyde.
No. If you break down the door, I'll kill you. Do you hear me? I'll kill you. No. Mr. Anderson, wait. I'll unlock the door.
Give me that gun, Poole.
The door's unlocked. Open it and come in if you dare.
Stand behind me, Poole. I'm going to push it open.
Oh, it's the monster. Mr. Addison has got a knife.
Stay back from us, Mr. Hyde.
Here you see evil incarnate, Mr. Addison. And murder
is my forte.
So you have murdered Dr. Jekyll?
Because he wished me dead. Now both of you shall die.
Coming at us, sir.
Stay back, Mr. Hyde.
Anderson, look out.
Now.
Is he dead, sir?
He's dead, Poole.
Then we must find Dr. Jekyll. His body must be here somewhere in the laboratory.
Wait. Look.
His face. It's changing, sir. It's...
You're looking at the shell of an evil soul, Poole, dissolving, turning back to the form of its creator.
But it's Dr. Jekyll. What does it mean, Mr. Utterson?
It means the evil man is dead, Poole. For here lies the better half of his duality. Triumphant.
From the time-worn pages of the past, we have brought you the story, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Bellkeeper, toll the bell.
From the time-worn pages of the past, we have heard another immortal tale in The Weird Circle. Bellkeeper, toll the bell. Be here in this lonely cave by the restless sea once again next time for another immortal tale in The Weird Circle.
It's intermission time at the Bah Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda. During the intermission, our radio show brings to you a cartoon for the record. We now return you to our radio show.
my guardian lived in such style.
Downright cozy. I'll get the luggage.
This is Dr. Lomas's, isn't it? I'm Janet Smith. I'm sure the doctor is expecting me.
You're Janet. The doctor has talked about you so much. Welcome home, my dear.
This is Mr. Hastings. I'm afraid the doctor didn't expect him, but I took the liberty of inviting
now
him.
don't tell me. My, what a surprise this will be for the doctor. Come in. Come in. I'm Mrs. Merchant, the housekeeper. Jacob, bring the bags in. You know where Miss Smith goes, and put Mr. Hastings in the blue room.
Friendly looking little fella. Now hurry up, dear. I'm hungry.
All right, darling. I'm just hanging up your things, miss. Is that all right? Thank you. You're Maggie, aren't you? Yes, miss. Do you want to change? The bath is that door. Oh, yes, thank you. Maggie, will you help me? Oh, yes, miss. Oh, thank you, I'll finish. Oh, what happened? Oh, I'm so sorry. That's all right, Maggie. Take your time unpacking. Oh, it isn't that, miss. It's just very late. The moon will be rising any minute now. The moon will be rising? What does the moon have to do with anything? Before I came to work in the manor house, I promised Mother I would always be home before the moon rose. Do you mean you walk home to the village every night? Yes, miss. Why don't you sleep here? Oh, I wouldn't dare. Sleep here? Nobody in the village would. Why not? Well, now, Maggie, why on earth do you object to sleeping here? I'm sorry, Miss Janet. Mrs. Merchant said she didn't want any more foolish gossip.
Come on, Janet.
I'm coming. Well, Maggie, we can straighten this up in the morning. You may go now. Oh, thank you, miss. Merchant, I can't get over the behavior of that girl.
You mean your maid, Maggie?
Yes.
Oh, there's no understanding these village people. They're shockingly backward.
She was absolutely terrified. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yes, what is this business about the moon rising?
Oh, it's a lot of local nonsense. Really, I must apologize for that silly girl. You'd be shocked if you knew some of the superstitions of our little village.
And the doctor, what's he got to say about all this?
Oh, well, the doctor wants none of this. He's too busy working night and day with his patients. Why, he wouldn't listen to silly stories.
What are these stories?
Oh, they go back a long way. Now, mind you, I'm not a local woman. I come from near Liverpool. Oh, my, there's the doctor. Well, I guess it's near midnight, so I better go and take care of the champagne.
Janet, my dear.
Doctor, this is George Hastings, who came along to celebrate my 21st birthday with me. And this is my guardian, Dr. Lomas.
Glad to meet you, sir.
How do you do?
I know you two will like one another. You have to. You see, George and I are going to be married.
Married?
I imagine that comes as quite a surprise to you, sir.
Surprise? Yes, rather. Come, we'll go into the sitting room. Children. One moment they are little girls playing with dolls, and the next they're introducing strangers as their future husbands.
We didn't ourselves know until last week.
Oh, Janet, my dear, your life was planned with so much loving care. I cannot help feeling I should have been consulted before this decision.
Oh, we kept our engagement a secret from everyone until we could tell you.
Young man, I consider you in this instance as rash and ill-advised as Miss Smith. She's an orphan.
That's just it, sir.
Dr. Loomis, I owe you so much, and I don't want to sound ungrateful, but even if you don't approve of George...
What Janet is trying to say is, we didn't come here just to celebrate her birthday, nor for that matter, to tell you we're getting married. There's another reason.
Such as?
After Janet and I are married, we're not going to accept one penny from you.
Is that a fact, Janet?
Yes. And George and I hope you will always allow us to consider you our good friend. But we have agreed never to use any of your money.
My money? All the money I have, my dear, that was what I can scrape together from my medical practice. Now it's my turn to spring a surprise on you two. You, Janet, were never living lavishly on my money, but on your own. You, my dear, are an heiress to an estate and a sizable fortune. This house and the land around it for miles belongs to you. Although your father's will provides that I may live here for the rest of my days.
Are you serious?
Oh, money is never a joking matter, my dear. That's a point rich and poor agree on. What about you, Mr. Hastings?
Well, I must admit I have no objections to money. I'll try to accustom myself to it.
I suppose you wonder why I haven't told you this before. Well, I've seen money spoil so many young lives. And I wanted to make sure that your future husband would be interested in you and not your money. I'm very happy for you both. Oh, almost midnight. Paul Masson, this was laid away, my dear, the day you were born.
Well, now, don't expect a speech from me.
Happy birthday, Janet, dear. May life be sweet and happy for you and for those you love.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, darling.
Oh, it's nothing, my dear. Here, take mine.
Broken glass means good luck.
Of course, so it does.
Well, so it did, didn't it? And you know, it's odd, Doctor. I was a little frightened of what you were going to tell us.
I'm afraid, my dear, there's something more that I must tell you.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm duty-bound by an old promise to reveal to you certain facts on your 21st birthday. I'll explain in the morning.
In the morning?
Yes, why can't you tell us now?
I'd rather leave it until tomorrow. You see, it's an old story, and another couple of hours can't make any difference. Besides, I'm very tired, and I have to go over some old documents just to refresh my memory. And now, my dear, and you, young man, you finish the champagne. And if you'll permit me, I'll go to bed.
my beautiful bride-to-be. All this and money, too.
Before breakfast.
Say, how about my getting some bacon and eggs for you? Mrs. Merchant went to town to do her marketing.
It sounds fine. That bacon looks good. You know, George, I can't seem to get a bit of gossip out of Maggie. Every time I bring up the subject of the man in the moon or whatever was bothering her last night, she just freezes up like a clam and cleans faster.
I'll bet I know the grim facts the doctor intended to tell you today. He was going to tell you about the taxes and the servant problems involved in this house. And I bet they're grim facts.
Do you want to help me explore it? You know, this is the first house I've ever owned.
Not on an empty stomach.
Is food the most important thing in your life?
Napoleon said a man travels on his stomach. What's good enough for Napoleon is good enough for Hastings.
I've already counted 36 rooms.
I found something curious. I've been taking the dimensions of this room. There's a large space unaccounted for, even allowing for the thickness of the walls.
A secret room? Oh, George, really?
Oh, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. This is a very old house. I wouldn't be surprised if this house didn't date back to medieval times, at least of the Tudor period. And in those days, no self-respecting house was complete without a secret room and secret passages.
Where do you think it might be?
Well, if I'm right, it's somewhere in this wall.
You know what I hope we find?
Treasure?
No. A bathroom with enough real hot water in it for a good shower.
I give up.
Whatever the secret, it isn't in this room.
What did you do? Looks as if it could have been used for some kind of chemical laboratory at one time.
Look at the dust. It hasn't been used for years.
Oh, I'm afraid we've allowed our curiosity to overcome our good manners.
This room is no great secret, though it has a certain interest, and it has been written up in several of the local chronicles.
Tell us about it.
There's not much to tell. Some old legends. It's supposed to have been used as a hiding place for Jesuits at the time that they were forbidden in England.
Why all this equipment?
Janet, your father used this room as his laboratory. It hasn't been used since his death.
My father?
I have to tell you why I insisted that you'd come here for your 21st birthday. George and I speak to Janet alone.
Doctor, I want George to hear whatever you have to say.
I understand. But if I'm to keep my word to your father, a word which I gave him before you were born, my dear, you must hear this alone. Then, if you still wish to tell George...
George, I can't marry you.
What on earth are you talking about?
You must go
Go?
and forget me.
Why are you talking like this? What have I done? You love me?
Oh, yes. Please don't ask me anything. Just go.
No. You love me. We're going to be married.
I can't marry you.
Look, darling, there must be a reason. Now tell me why.
Don't ask me.
Janet, I want to help you, but I can't unless you trust me. Look, Dr. Lomas, I've had enough mysteries. Now I want some answers. What's the matter with Janet?
This is your secret. Do you want me to tell? Perhaps it's for the best. She'll come with me. This is the entrance to the family tomb. Janet's family. It predates the house by centuries. Here in this crypt rest the mortal remains of 4 centuries of the family of Jekyll. Knights, soldiers, priests.
He's here. Dr. Henry Jekyll. He kneweth not what he did. May his tortured soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Not the Dr. Jekyll.
He was my father.
You have to understand, a finer man than Dr. Jekyll never lived. We were medical students together. I was the dull plodder, but Jekyll was brilliant, with a mind approaching genius. He was independently wealthy. He did some really distinguished work. In the world of science, he was rated as one of the coming men. Then he became completely absorbed in a strange experiment. He practically withdrew from the world, gave up what practice he had, and forgot his friends. But Janet, always remember this. Your father's experiment in the early stages was intended as a blessing. See, his theory was that all men are part evil and part good. And his desire was to separate these personalities.
Wasn't that close to a man trying to be God?
Certainly. He developed certain drugs that had a most remarkable effect on the mind and body of a human being. Formulas which he destroyed before his death. As a result of using himself as a guinea pig in this experiment, the battle within his own body and soul reached a climax.
And Hyde won out.
His mind would blank out when the vicious Hyde took over. Then when he reverted to the respectable Dr. Jekyll, his recollection of what Hyde had done was nothing but a vague, distorted nightmare. He wasn't even aware that physically he'd become a monster. Oh, I still shudder when I recall that face, like some perverted mask of evil out of a legend of horror.
Then you saw him as Hyde?
Once, at the very last.
just before the mob caught him. I swear to you, Janet, he never was aware of what he had done. You were hardly more than a child at the time. You were too young to remember.
No, I remember. There was something in the papers about it.
The press had a Roman holiday. You know, when the mob finally caught up with him, they almost tore him to pieces. The villagers broke into this tomb and drove a stake through his heart. The only safeguard, according to ancient tales of witchcraft, that keeps a werewolf from rising out of the grave when the moon is full to hunt for human blood.
Now you know why I can't marry. I'm his daughter.
Why, you little idiot. If you think I'm going to let an old wives' tale that happened 20 years ago...
Suppose I pass it on to my children.
Why should it be hereditary?
Doctor, what should I do?
I have absolutely no proof that this madness is hereditary. On the other hand, if I'm to be honest, I have no proof that it isn't.
That's good enough for me. Let's get out of here.
I must keep this gate locked. Around here, they still believe that Dr. Jekyll, in the form of a werewolf, prowls thirsting for blood every time the full moon rises. Every chance accident, every unexplained disappearance of man or beast is rumored to be his doing.
I'm fed up with these old wives' tales. They're utter nonsense. I understand. I know how you feel. The atmosphere of this place would get anybody down.
After what the doctor said...
Forget the doctor. Oh, the old boy means well. But the sooner we're out of here and married, the better.
George, I know you're right, but I can't make any...
Not disturbing anything, am I? Oh, young lady, what you need is a good night's rest. I think you must let the doctor prescribe. Maggie? I want you to go downstairs and heat up a glass of milk for Miss Janet.
Yes, sir.
Now, you say good night, but make it quick.
First thing in the morning, we pack. Second, the minister.
Taken that bitter duty upon myself, you'd have stumbled on the truth sooner or later. The shock might have been worse. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong.
What does it matter?
Oh, my dear, you mustn't try to fight this so hard. Look at me. Look into my eyes. I'm going to check your nerve reflexes. Watch the light. Watch the light closely.
Come in.
I'm sorry to take so long, sir, but the fire had gone out in the stove and I had to get it started and... Is she all right?
She's just tired. She'll be fine in the morning, won't she, dear? Now you're going to have a nice long sleep. Here. Drink your milk. That was good, wasn't it? You're going to feel much better tomorrow.
Yes. Much better.
See that she gets right to bed.
Yes, sir. Rising now. It's late. It will be up before I'm home. And only 24 hours before full moon. Full moon? That's when the monster Jekyll rises from his tomb.
Janet, it's all right. Quiet, darling. I've been having a nightmare.
Isn't Maggie all right?
She's home.
Home?
Yes, she left hours ago.
Maggie's in bed asleep by now.
Are you sure?
Why do you keep asking about Maggie?
Oh, I saw something in a nightmare.
It's all right now. Maggie, let's try and get some sleep.
This is going to put you to sleep. Go on. Drink it. You're all right now.
I want to get Janet out of here today.
Do you think she will really be in condition to travel?
Well, it'll be rough on her, but not half as rough as staying here. Every time she looks out of her bedroom window, she's liable to go into another set of hysterics. And I don't blame her. The only thing I can think of is to get her out of here in a hurry.
I suppose you're right. I blame myself for telling her about her father, but at the time...
Good morning, dear.
You've been keeping a nice hot breakfast waiting for Miss Janet, eh?
Yes, indeed I have, sir. Sausages and eggs. Now, they always hit the spot, don't they?
Now, my prescription is eat hearty.
And after breakfast, we'll drive up to London after you've packed. I have an aunt who'll put you up until we can arrange for the wedding.
I promise to be on hand to throw rice.
How does that suit you?
I'm sorry, George. I can't make a decision. I'm not capable of it.
Oh, I'm sorry to be late. But the first batch of toast got burnt. Just seems to be one of those mornings when nothing goes right. First, Jacob didn't show up, and I had to start the stove all by myself. And then Maggie is late. Oh, this is going to be one of those days. I just know it is.
Maggie isn't here?
Oh, no, but what can you expect of maids these days? Why, in my first place, would I have caught it if I were 10 seconds late? But now they come bouncing in if they like, without so much as a by your leave.
What kind of an animal could make wounds like that?
I don't know. There are no beasts of prey in this part of the country, not for centuries.
Is there a circus or a zoo around here?
It would have been in the Times.
There's no beast that did this. Leastwise, no natural beast. Only one thing did that. People around here know what it is. It's a werewolf. We've seen it before.
Nonsense.
Nonsense, is it? This isn't the first time we've had a monster around here. And people know what to do about werewolves. There's ways.
That's enough. Get out!
That's right. We've had enough of this nonsense. Get back to your work.
Good day, Miss Jekyll.
A fine thing. How do you expect me to be getting dinner when you're 2 hours late with my chicken? drinking again.
Just a pint of off and on. Who's to care?
Oh, just a pint of off and off. Who's to care? Do you expect me to believe that one? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If Dr. Loomis finds you staggering about, he'll...
Dr. Loomis. He's got troubles enough of his own to take care of. I'll tell you one thing. I've been talking to the boys down at the pub, and they don't intend to be putting up with no daughter of Dr. Jekyll roaming around.
You'll mind your business if you know what's good for you.
It is my business. It's everybody's business. First Maggie last night. Whose blood will she get tonight?
What a wicked thing to say.
Is it indeed? Well, let me tell you something else. Do you know what the lads are saying? They took care of the father, and they know how to take care of the daughter.
You're just trying to stir up trouble with your wicked nonsense.
So you think it's nonsense? Well, maybe. But I wonder who'll be next. Perhaps you.
Now, don't worry. I'll be all right.
You most certainly will, my dear.
Here's the hot milk. I put some of our best brandy in.
And I'm going to add another ingredient. How does that taste?
All right?
Drink it down. Ah, that's good. Now we'll all leave and let you get some rest. After you've had a good night's sleep, you'll feel like another girl. Sleep tight.
Doctor, you have the key.
Don't worry, my dear. I'll lock you in, snug and tight.
Be sure.
Best not to upset her.
Oh, I wonder how much longer my nerves can stand this.
A nightcap?
No.
Don't worry. I leave my door ajar. Doctors, you know, always sleep with one eye open. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Janet!
It happened again. I knew it would. Look at my hands.
Janet, what have you done?
Killed. Killed like some beast in the night.
Janet, you were locked in. The doctor was watching the door every moment. Weren't you, Doctor?
I must have dropped off for a few moments, but nevertheless, Janet, tell us exactly what you think you did.
I killed her. I crept up like some animal. And then I had my hands around her throat.
Janet, be quiet. You have to be sensible. This is all nerves.
My nerves? Do my nerves explain the blood in my hands? And the mud on my shoes? And my gown?
This is ridiculous. We're living in the 20th century. This is an age of reason, not superstition. Now let's look at this calmly. Everything you've shown me has a reasonable explanation. Look at your arm. That's where the blood came from. You scratched yourself and tore your gown during your nightmare. We went for a walk today. That explains the mud on your shoes. Now, Janet, all that is left are a few bad dreams.
But I saw myself kill her as clearly as I see you now. Could I have been sleepwalking?
Impossible. You were locked in. The doctor locked the door and kept the key. When you screamed, the door was still locked.
I could have used the window.
Quite impossible.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Not even a trained acrobat could crawl along that ledge or drop to the ground without injury. See for yourself. What are you doing here, intruding at this hour?
We found Lucy.
Found Lucy? What do you mean?
You know what I mean. We found Lucy with her throat torn out. Torn out by her.
I've had enough of this. Some maniac has broken loose, but I'll not have Janet accused of these horrors. Here, get out of this house, and don't let me see you in these grounds again.
We know you're the daughter of Dr. Jekyll. We know what you're doing.
You heard him. Get out.
Let me tell you something. It won't be long till the daughter of Dr. Jekyll joins her father in the vault with a stake in her heart. We know how to deal with werewolves.
Why, Mrs. Merchant, where are you going to at this hour?
I'm leaving.
Oh, now, Mrs. Merchant, this isn't like you. Leaving without notice after all these years?
I'm sorry, but there isn't an argument in the world that could get me to stay in this house another moment, let alone another night. There are some things that nobody should be expected to put up with.
Now, Mrs. Merchant, this is silly, really.
Pardon me. I'll send for the rest of my things later.
I shouldn't be too long. If anybody wants to start any mischief, I intend to squelch it before it gets underway. Now I must go and see if I can dig up another housekeeper.
Can't we get Janet out of here by tomorrow morning?
I don't see why not. Those pills I gave her should keep her asleep for another few hours. She seems much better. But don't go up to her now. We don't want to give her the impression that she must be watched. Better get some rest yourself. And remember, in case Janet gets a bit out of hand, give her not more than 2 of the pills I left with you.
No, I won't.
And don't give them to her unless it's necessary. I don't like to use too many drugs if it can be avoided. Well, I'm off now. Goodbye.
supposed to be the soul, sometimes of a dead body, sometimes of a human monster, which quits either the dead or sleeping body by night to suck the blood of living persons. Hence, when the werewolf's grave is opened, his corpse is found to be fresh and rosy from the blood which he has thus absorbed.
To put a stop to its ravages, a stake is driven through the corpse, or the head cut off, or the heart torn out and the body burned.
No. So you believe it?
Of course not, Janet. Now, I want you to take some pills Dr. Lomas left for you. It's natural for you to be upset.
Why don't you say it? I'm mad. You've got to do something. You've got to lock me up or put me in a madhouse. No. No, Jacob is right. He knows what to do. You've got to get a stake and drive it through my heart and bury me beside my father. Well, do it! Do I have to kill myself? If you love me, please kill me! Please kill me! Please kill me! Please.
Stop it! Stop it. I'm sorry I had to do that. Now I'll take you up to your room. Give you those pills Dr. Lomas left. Make you sleep. I've got to get Janet out of here quick.
I'm afraid you can't. More trouble? Yes, I've had trouble too, and I'm afraid there's going to be more.
In the village, Jacob?
Mm-hmm.
But surely nobody's going to listen to his superstitious gossip.
I'm afraid they already have. I've talked that idiot of a village constable out of swearing out a warrant for Janet. But tomorrow there's going to be a coroner's inquest. And ridiculous as it is, they intend to summon Janet as a witness.
But she's in no condition to face an inquisition.
As a physician, that's what I intend to tell the coroner. If they want her as a witness, they'll have to postpone the inquest. Unfortunately, it still means that she can't leave.
Well, then there's no reason to tell her about this now.
Right.
Well, I'm going back upstairs to her.
If you want me, I'll be in the dining room. I need a drink.
She's gone.
Are you sure?
I looked all over the second floor.
The third floor and the attic are locked off. She must have come downstairs. You look upstairs again. I'll take this floor. Any luck?
No.
Where the devil can she have got to? She can't have been out of your sight for more than 3 or 4 minutes.
I thought the pills put her to sleep.
Oh, individual reactions differ sharply.
Well, we can't waste any time. She was talking about suicide.
Oh, lots of people do. Mostly it's just talk. Come, the next thing to do is to search the grounds.
Janet! Janet, where are you? Janet! Janet, where are you? Janet. Doctor, I found her. Janet, why did you come here?
Something made me. I'd be better off beside my father.
Janet, you've permitted yourself to become completely morbid. You mustn't let these ridiculous superstitions get the best of you.
The doctor's right. I know you're going through a nightmare, but you have to fight it.
George, directly the inquest is over tomorrow, I want you to take Janet away from here.
Inquest?
Oh, I'll tell you about that later. George, take Janet back to the house. Didn't I order you off my grounds?
It's no harm I'm doing.
Now, let me make this very clear. If at any time in the future I find you on this land, I'll have the constable take you in charge for trespassing.
You're sure this is strong, very strong?
That young lady would put an elephant to sleep.
I want to be completely unconscious, unable to move.
Oh, you will be. I hope I'm not overdoing sedatives. They can have a nasty effect.
I'll take the risk.
Well, frankly, I feel like an idiot, but I've done what you've asked. All the windows are nailed shut.
No one can get out?
Not even a mosquito.
Now, when you go, be sure to lock the door from the outside and keep the key.
Oh, I'll do even better than that. To convince you how silly your idea is, I'll lock the door and I'll spend the night on that chair.
No, I'll stay with her.
Oh, no, you were up all last night. 2 nights in a row aren't good. Besides, I've got about 6 months back numbers of medical journals to read. Off with you now.
Now you're not going to have any more nightmares. Get a good sleep. Tomorrow will be off. Night, Princess. She's almost asleep.
It's very strong. Now, on your way. And don't waste any sleep and worry. Tonight you will dream again. You are a werewolf. You will steal through the woods to a lonely house and kill a woman. Then you will cut yourself, rip your gown, and cover your face and hands with blood. With this cord, you will hang yourself over your father's grave in atonement. Now you will sleep. And when you wake, you will obey.
Is it? This is the telephone exchange. The constable has asked us to warn all subscribers that the killer is still at large. There is no need for panic, as the village men will be patrolling the woods. But it is thought advisable to bar your windows and doors. Hello? Are you there? Are you there? Please answer me. Is there something wrong? Hello there. Are you there? Hello?
Janet, no, no! Janet. Darling, listen to me. He didn't do any of those killings. It was the doctor.
The doctor?
He's mad. Worse than that, he changes into something that isn't human.
But I saw myself.
No, he hypnotized you, put you in a trance. He made you see those things.
With the blood on my hands.
The doctor. Just as he gave you that cord to hang yourself and aroused Jacob's suspicions to stir up the village.
But my father.
He used Dr. Jekyll in his earlier killings to gain control of the estate. He was trying the same thing with you for the same reason.
Oh, no man could possibly do that.
We're not dealing with a man. We're not dealing with anything human. And if we don't get out of here quick, we won't be dealing with anything ever again. We've got one chance. Lie down here. Act like you're still in a trance.
Are you sure?
Thanks for watching the Bah Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out Channel Watch Waddle for some fun cartoons with no static.
Huh?